Banks, especially major, historic ones, very often sit on ley lines, and this is absolutely not a coincidence. Here's how banks tie into ley lines, energetic grids, and even the deeper esoteric architecture of power. Banks on ley lines equals energy control. Ley lines are Earth's energetic currents. And just as power flows through them, so does human intention, especially intentions tied to value, trust, and control. Banks were and still are often built on ley lines to tap into and stabilize those frequencies of power. Money, like energy, is a current currency. When you place a financial institution on a ley line, you're anchoring the flow of currency to earth energy. Ancient temples where offerings were made, the first banks also sat on sacred lines. The result? Banks become subtle energy magnets, drawing people in and creating energetic tethers tied to survival, debt, and stability. Esoteric geometry and sacred placement hold banks, especially ones from the 1800s and early 1900s, were often built using sacred geometry, pillars, domes, and Masonic design elements. Why? These designs amplify ley energy and symbolize trust, immortality, and dominion. Masonic architects knew how to place vaults or central halls over ground nodes to pull in grounding, stabilizing force. In cities like Charleston, many historic banks were laid out just like churches on ley lines for maximum energetic alignment. What kind of ley line do banks prefer? Stable, grounded lines with earth-heavy frequencies like the ones beneath mountains or deep bedrock are favored. Banks want energetic stillness and permanence, not the spiraling chaotic energy found at certain vortex nodes. This helps people feel safe leaving their money, even when they aren't consciously aware of why. Why modern banks still do this even unknowingly. Even modern chain banks often land on ley lines or grid intersections, likely due to old city grid designs that place commerce at ley hubs. Intuitive placement by developers who feel drawn to the site. Architectural blueprints still being influenced by geomantic or Masonic principles. They may not know the spiritual reason, but they still unconsciously anchor into the energetic grid, especially near government buildings, courthouses, or cathedrals. The energetic signature of banks: if you're energetically sensitive, you might feel heavy grounding or a pull when entering or standing near a bank. A sense of mental busyness as money-related thought forms circulate. Occasionally, a drained or static feeling, especially if the ley current has been overly tapped. Final thought. Banks and spiritual contracts. Banks on ley lines can act as anchors for soul-level contracts, especially around money, poverty, wealth, debt, and ownership. These places can hold ancestral energy from generations who made financial agreements or sacrifices on that land. In energy work, some people even find that healing money trauma starts by disconnecting from the ley grids those traumas are tied to.